Hello everybody, welcome back to another video where we look ahead to the light novels releasing next month, and that's going to be the month of June 2017. We're almost halfway through this year already. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing, really. So last time I switched up things a little bit. I did the announcements of the titles and what I thought, and then I did the synopsis at the tail end of the video to avoid spoilers for people who hadn't caught up, and no one really said whether they liked it or not, but nobody said they didn't like it. So I'm going to stick with that for now. It seems like a nice sort of safe format that works for everybody. So yeah, so I'm going to go through these titles. If I have anything to say about it, I will, and then I'll do a synopsis at the end. The sort of blurbs on the back, I will let you know so there's no spoilers. So let's get right into it, because there are 18 new light novels releasing in the month of June. 18, and that's only if I eliminate the brand new release of Grimgar Fantasy and Ash #1 in paperback. I know a bunch of you have been waiting for it, and if I include that, then 19 titles are releasing this month. So here we go. All right, so June 3rd, from J Novel Club, we are actually getting 3 volumes of the same title, and that is Invaders of the Rokujouma. Now, this is going to be volumes number 1 through 3, and it's kind of an interesting thing. So I guess what's happened is that there was a fan translation happening of this series, and it was primarily one guy, and he had already done like volumes 1 to, I want to say like 1 to 22, something like that. Like he had done like a good chunk of these things, and there was only maybe 3 or 4 volumes left. Well, J Novel actually hired him. So what they've done is they've taken his original translations, they're doing a bit of a polish on them. That's why they're only releasing a couple at a time. And then he is continuing with J Novel Club to finish off the translation. So I think that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool acknowledgement of fans' passion and investment of what I have to imagine was a hell of a lot of time to do like 20 volumes of a series. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. So they're releasing, I think, like 3 per month until they kind of catch up. But meanwhile, on their website, you can actually, if you've been reading up to this point, like you're caught up, they are doing their sort of monthly releases of the most current volumes. So that'll be June 3rd, 3 volumes coming out of that series, 1, 2, and 3. On June 6th, from J Novel Club /7 Seas. It's a little confusing, but I guess basically what's happened is J Novel Club has come into an agreement with 7 Seas. 7 Seas, of course, is a big manga distributor. They also do a couple of light novel titles. So J Novel Club's basically created a deal with 7 Seas to use their ability to print and distribute, and they have come to this agreement. So 7 Seas is releasing the physical release of Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash, volume #1, on June 6th. It is the J Novel Club translation, and J Novel Club still owns the rights. They've just sort of entered into an agreement with 7 Seas for this physical release. But I know a lot of you, when I did the volume 1 review, a lot of you were like, it was a series you really wanted to get into, but you weren't too thrilled about ebooks. Well, here it is. So June #6, look for that. Volume #1 of Grimgar Fantasy and Ash. June 10th, also from J Novel Club. Funny we mentioned this, I mentioned this to somebody else, and someone said to me on Twitter, they're like, do you remember like not even a year, it seems, ago that J Novel Club only had like 3 or 4 titles, and now they have 17? They've become a really driving force for light novels, which is fantastic, because we're getting a lot of titles that I don't think we would have gotten from the sort of bigger, more traditional houses like, say, Yanon. So anyway, June 10th, we have volume 4 of My Big Sister Lives in a Fantasy World. Kind of a neat series. I've only read volume 1 so far. It's kind of getting to the point, guys, where like it is very, very hard for me to read continuing volumes to try and keep up with everything. I mean, 18 light novels this month. But anyway, yeah, so this one was cute. I liked it. So Volume 4 coming out June 10th. Then on June 14th, we get two more titles from J Novel Club, and that is In Another World with My Smartphone, Volume number 3, which, super cute series. It's one of those ones that if you're just telling somebody about it, they're like, wow, I totally think I should hate that series. And yet, when you read it, it is just so like hard on its sleeve that it's really hard to hate it. It's just, yeah. I've read the first volume, and volume 2 is definitely one that I want to get into, especially because the translator was saying on Twitter that the series gets kind of like really crazy. And I won't go any further because I promise you no spoilers in this first half. Also on June 14th from J Novel Club, Pain to Win in a VRMMO Volume number 3. I haven't even read Volume 1 yet. I'm trying to catch up. I just started reading Volume 1 of How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. Not too sure whether I'll get to VRMMO after that. I might do like Goblin Slayer or something in between. But anyway, I do want to at least do volume number 1. Then on June 20th, we are getting into the Yen On's chunk of releases. So we have volume 2 of Accel World. Again, another series that I have actually been reading since volume number 1, and I've read the 8 volumes of it. I still haven't picked up volume 9. Maybe I should read that one next, especially if volume 10 is coming out in June. So June 20th, Accel World, volume number 10. Then we also get volume number 3 of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? On the side, Sword Oratoria. That's volume number 3 of that series, the spin-off featuring Ainz Wallenstein, the love interest of Belle in Danmachi, the main series. There's also an anime currently running of that series. I've heard some mixed stuff about it. I have not watched it because I haven't completely decided if I'm going to read more volumes of Sword Oratoria yet. Until I decide, I'm just kind of avoiding the anime. Then we have volume number 8 of Log Horizon, a series that I have to confess I dropped quite some time ago around volume 4. I actually own volume 5 but haven't even read it yet. The main reason for that really is that I watched all of the anime. I really loved the anime. I really enjoyed it. And the anime has adapted all the volumes of Log Horizon. And I have heard from some of you that in terms of the web novel, it has continued beyond volume 10, but so far there's no actual release date for volume 11 in Japan, nor apparently obviously in English. So I've kind of put it on the back burner until I know that it's progressed beyond where the anime left off. Now, here's one that I'm actually really excited about reading, which is Magical Girl Raising Project Volume number 1. August Hale did a review of it and seemed to really like this series. He read the fan translation. I am really looking forward to this one. I don't know why. Maybe because there really hasn't been a lot in the way of magical girl light novels so far. But it's that magical girl but gritty, like violence and everything else kind of magical girls, which Madoka is one of my favorite anime of all time, so that would be why I'm excited about that. Then we have volume number 4 of Psycome. Now, I know a lot of you have been on my case about reading the rest of Psycome and getting caught up, and yes, I know, I know. And I really did enjoy volume number 1. It was one of those ones that I was like, yes, I like this. And in terms of Yen On, when Psychome Volume 1 came out, it was a very odd choice for Yen On. Like, it didn't have an anime. It was already a completed series. I'm trying to remember now. I think it only had like 6 volumes. I want to say 6, but it may have had 1 or 2 more. But it wasn't like some big, 15, 20 volume long series or a series that's still ongoing. Like I said, no anime. Just a very unusual choice for Yen On. They seem to really stick to stuff that is either really uber popular in Japan, if it's a bit newer, or something that's already had like that built-in fan base because it's got an anime as well. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I keep saying I'm going to get to it, and I really do want to. Then we have volume number 4 of ReZero. You all know that I'm going to be for sure reading that one. I've really enjoyed the first 3 volumes of ReZero. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much else to say. I mean, this one's it's the start of a brand new arc. I don't know how many volumes that arc covers. I want to say that I don't know. I don't know. You know what? If you've watched the anime, let me know. Is this like now, are we going into the second core, like into, episodes, what would they be, 13 to 24 or whatever? Or are we still in sort of what we would call the first season, which was like the first 12, 13 episodes? Let me know, because if I've gotten beyond at least one season of it, I'll watch the first season. Then we get another brand new series. And you know what? I have to be honest. I'm not sure if this is a series or if this is a single volume, but it is Sound Euphonium. And there is, of course, yes, an anime for this one. Again, sort of keeping in line with the Yen's usuals. And then another one that I know that some of you, one particular of you, is very excited for, and that is Spice and Wolf, Volume 18, Spring Log. Yes, it is the continuation of the Spice and Wolf series proper. It's not the spin-off starring their child. It is actually another volume of Spice and Wolf. And then from Viz, or their spin-off, which I think it's Haikosora, I want to say. I could be completely wrong. Haikasoru. Okay. Haikusoru. Okay. Anyway, it's volume number 4 of Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Now, again, I kind of argue whether this one's actually what I would call a light novel. In Japan, Legend of the Galactic Heroes is really actually considered just a sci-fi series. But because it is one of those really famous anime type series, it's naturally going to be of interest to anime fans and therefore light novel fans. I read the first volume, which I really enjoyed. But again, yeah, so volume 4 is coming out. And then also we have from J Novel Club, and now all these titles are coming out on the 20th of June. So, I mean, June 20th is going to be a pretty busy day. So on June 20th, we also have from J Novel Club a brand new series called If It's For My Daughter, I'd Even Defeat a Demon Lord. This one, it's a series that I don't know anything about. When they did announce it, I kind of looked a little bit into it. All I can really tell you is the covers are beautiful. I love the covers for it. The story sounds kind of cool. I'm interested to see how it looks. And again, I don't think it's a very long series. I think it's only a couple of volumes, and I'm pretty sure it's finished in Japan. If I'm wrong, and you know I'm wrong, by all means, let me know in the comments down below. Then on June 24th, you thought we were done, but we're totally not. From J Novel Club, we have volume 4 of Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash. So we're getting double Grimgar this month. We got volume 1 if you haven't read it in a actual physical release. And if you're keeping up with the ebook versions, we get volume number 4 of Grimgar, and that'll be June 24th. And then finally, on June 27th, from Vertical, we get volume number 1 of Nisemonogatari. So this, of course, being the sequel series to Bakemonogatari, which I am horribly behind. Volume 3 is already released, and again, I've only read volume number 1. Another one of those series that I keep saying I'm going to get there. You know what? I've done a lot better this week. I've actually managed to read, I think 3 books in the past week, so I'm kind of hoping if I can ramp up my pace a bit, maybe I can keep up with a few more things. But yeah, so June 27th, volume number 1 of Nisemonogatari, which I believe kind of focus on the main character of Bake and Kitsu, that's Araragi. I believe they're sort of focusing on his sisters, which, Nisei, or, yeah. So, yeah. So that is what is releasing the month of June. 18 light novels, 19 if we include the paperback version of Grimgar finally arriving in stores. Big month, a lot of actually new titles that are going to be coming out. So lots to look forward to in June. Or if you're like me, lots to make you feel like you are going to be continually buried under books that you'll never get caught up on. But I will try and do my best to at least read all the brand new volume number ones, so I can at least let you know what I think of these newer series. So, though that's part one of the video, now I'm going to read the synopsis, or like the back cover blurbs of each of these. If you don't want any spoilers, then time to check out. Now, some of these are volume ones, though, so they're not really spoilers. Maybe I should read volume ones during the first part of the video. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, here we go. Blurb time. Potential spoilers ahead. So June 3rd, Invaders of the Rokujouma. Now, I'm only going to read the blurb from volume number one because pretty much anyone who hasn't followed the fan translation is on volume one. Just starting high school, Kotaro is moving out on his own to take some of the burden off of his widower father. Lucky for him, he's found a room at Corona House. It has a great landlord, it's not too far from school, and best of all, it's dirt cheap. It really is perfect, except for the strange girls that keep appearing to try and take it over. But even as room 106 turns into a battlefield, Kotaro isn't willing to give up his apartment without a good fight. The invasion begins. June number 6, Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash, volume number 1. Haruhiro awakens to darkness and amnesia among a group of strangers who can only remember their own names and nothing else. When they make it into the light, they discover Grimgar, a fantasy world that's like something out of an RPG game. Without apparent skills or knowledge of their surroundings, Haruhiro and his newfound friends band together to form an adventuring party. Only by cooperating, using their wits, and learning new skills can they hope to survive in this dangerous land of monsters and magic. June 10th, My Big Sister Lives in a Fantasy World, Volume 4. Yuichi's not very restful summer vacation came to an end, and the new school term isn't looking much better. Immortal demons are trying to kill him, his new teacher is a superpowered sociopath, and all kinds of bizarre events are happening around the school. What does Kanako's new novel have to do with the bizarre goings-ons at Seishin High? Once again, it's up to the world's strongest little brother and his highly delusional sister to find out. June 14th, Another World with My Smartphone, volume number 3. Stalwart as ever, 16-year-old Mochizuki Toya heads off to the far eastern land of Ishin with his party in tow. For what purpose? The matriarch of the fairy clan wishes to delve into some ancient ruins, of course. But it's never quite that simple for Toya and his friends. Oh no. The party is thrust into the midst of a clash between the warlords Takeda Shingen and Tokugawa Ieyasu. I totally butchered that name. While a nefarious necromancer makes his move in the shadows. And then we have volume number 3 for Pain to Win in a VRMMO. Fabulously wealthy whale Ichiro Suwabuki has little interest in romance, but that won't stop the mysterious Nem from going all out in a VR MMO battle for his indifferent heart. She makes her move while Ichiro is off indulging in a meeting with the game's genius developer, recruiting some of the VR MMO's most unsavory avatars to help her put pressure on her foremost rival, Iris. With Ichiro and his bottomless pocketbook tied up elsewhere, it's up to the ever-loyal Kirschwasser to hold the line and save their crafting guild's most valuable player. So June number 20th, these are a whole bunch here. So Accel World, volume number 10, The Sound of Water on a Distant Day. 2046. Haruyuki, aka Silver Crow, member of the reborn Nega Nebulous, makes a certain blunder and sees a sudden, precipitous drop in burst points. Given that he is backed up against the wall, Takumu suggests he hire an accelerated world bouncer. Spring 2047. Haruyuki is plunged into an unprecedented crisis due to the machinations of new student Seiji Nomi. At the same time in Okinawa on a school trip, Korayuki Hime is set up for a duel by a strange burstlinker. So, short story volume, 2 short stories. And actually, I'm not sure about the first one, but I know for a fact the second one was part of the anime adaptation. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? On the side, Sword Oratoria, volume number 3. After the tumultuous events in the dungeon, Aiz has finally reached the vaulted level 6. But in spite of this amazing news, the Sword Princess seems to be completely depressed. There are 2 reasons. The first is that she finally managed to meet the white-haired boy again, but once more, he ran away from her with everything he had. The second is that the monster tamer she fought so hard against knew her name, a name that absolutely no one else should know, and yet... Meanwhile, from the depths of the dungeon comes a mysterious crystal ball that's about to plunge both underground and surface worlds quietly into chaos. Log Horizon, volume number 8. For the sake of obtaining their very own magic bags, Toya, Minori, Serara, Isuzu, and Rondolos all set off on their very first journey as a 5-member party. Their quest to find the materials soon becomes a cross-country musical tour, as they find themselves performing live events in all the towns and villages they come across. On their journey, they meet a daylight-hating vampire, a people of the land scribe, and a band of fanatics who believe they've unlocked the secret to returning to the real world. This is their first real adventure alone, without any supervision and no one to bail them out. But will they really be safe in this world that's more dangerous than it seems? Magical Girl Raising Project Volume number 1. The hit social network game, the Magical Girl Raising Project, selects one out of every tens of thousands of players to become a real-life magical girl. The lucky chosen girls gain magic powers as well as incredibly good fortune and spend their days blissfully. But one day, an absolute announcement declares that the number of magical girls has risen too high and must be cut down to half. 16 young maidens are thrust into a merciless, deadly contest to survive. But how many will come out on the other side? Psycome Volume number 4. Just before the start of summer break, Kyosuke is summoned to Eri's home. Academy administration readily approves the trip, and he heads home with Eri. They thought it would just be the 2 of them, but Renko and Ayaka, after winning parole with their exam scores, decide to tag along. Since the Akabane are a family of assassins, Kyosuke is, to be honest, more than a little uneasy. But they are met with an unbelievably warm reception at House Akabane. Even as the others appreciate the pleasant atmosphere, Eri is sullen the whole time. The sweet, summery 4th installment of the hardcore love comedy where the more he loves, the more dangerous it becomes. Love equals kill. ReZero Volume number 4. After escaping the deadly time loop of the manor, Subaru can finally enjoy a brief respite. But after a visit from the king's messenger, he returns with Amelia to the royal capital where it all began. As he reunites with his friends, Subaru gears up to help Amelia become the next monarch, but Amelia herself stubbornly refuses his assistance. Sound Euphonium. After a terrible experience in her past at the National Music Band competition, Kumiko abandoned music once and for all. She starts her first year at Kitauji High School. She finds herself being roped back in. But their school's band is hopeless. There was a time where they had placed well in nationals, but now they can't even make it past their regional qualifiers. In the midst of all this, Kumiko meets the last person she'd ever want to see again, Reina. Will Kitauji High manage to pull itself together with the day of the concert drawing ever closer? Spice and Wolf, Volume 18, Springlog. The long-awaited continuation of the tale of Holo the Wise Wolf and the Merchant Lawrence. Over 10 years after Holo and Lawrence open Bathhouse Spice and Wolf in Neohira, the two climb up the mountain in order to help at the festival in Sfjörnur. But Lawrence has an additional objective, to find more information about a new hot spring town near Neohira. Legend of Galactic Heroes Volume 4. It's the Galactic Empire versus the Free Planets Alliance in Japan's greatest space opera epic. In the 36th century, humanity has conquered the galaxy and colonized countless star systems. The Galactic Empire, modeled along Prussian lines, and the Democratic Free Planets Alliance are at war, and the fate of every human being in the universe hangs in the balance. This classic Japanese space opera, adapted into a legendary anime, is finally available in English for the first time. Remnants of the high nobility, manipulated by the third power of Phazon, abduct the 7-year-old emperor and, with the cooperation of the Free Planets Alliance, declare the establishment of a traditional imperial government. Reinhard, however, has turned the tables by making a secret pact with Phazon's high officials and plans a grand invasion of the Alliance by way of the Phazon Corridor. So begins an epic battle between Yang, who, despite surmising Reinhardt's true intentions, must defend Isserjorn, and the Imperial Navy's peerless fighter, I can't even begin to say what that name is. Royenthal? I apologize. I'm reading it. I have no idea what the name is. From J Novel Club, If It's For My Daughter, I'd Even Defeat a Demon Lord, Volume Number 1. Dale is a cool, composed, and highly skilled adventurer who's made quite a name for himself despite his youth. One day on a job deep in the forest, he comes across a little devil girl who's almost wasted away. Unable to just leave her there to die, Dale takes her home and becomes her adoptive father. Devil or not, Latina is beyond adorable, and the adventurer soon finds himself head over heels with being a parent. But why was she out in the forest to begin with? And why does she carry the mark of a criminal? June 24th, Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash, Volume 4. Don't scare me like that, Mogutsu. Sorry. Mogutsu let out an embarrassed laugh and scratched the back of his head. Still, he sure is bleeding a lot, Haruhiro thought. With all that blood, it's impossible to tell what kind of face he's making. But, well, it looks like he's fine somehow. Haruhiro and his party reached the end of one major battle. However, with there being some comrades they couldn't save, they couldn't be entirely happy with how things were. Meanwhile, because they managed to accomplish more than anyone had expected, some members of the party receive offers from other teams wanting to poach them. As Haruhiro agonizes over what to do as a leader, he is forced to come to grips with what the party wants to do once again. The story of adventure born from the ashes now enters a new stage. And then finally, June 27th, Nisemonogatari, Volume Number 1. Unlike ne'er-do-well former vampire Araragi, his two younger sisters, Karen and Tsukihi, who attend a private junior high, are little balls of energy and charisma that the peers look up to. That the Ka in Karen and he in Tsukihi are both written with the character for fire isn't the only reason they've come to be known as the Fire Sisters. Karen is the brawn and Tsukihi the brains of a vigilantism that the pair sees not merely as defending justice, but as justice itself. They can't encounter a harmful fad without trying to hunt down a specific source that had a motive for spreading it. In their big brother's humble opinion, there is something fake and precarious about it all. In this first of two parts, the immediate sequel to the legendary Bakemonogatari plunges us into the middle of summer vacation in the mostly peaceful rural town where the series is set. As our hero and narrator can say from experience, however, teenagers with too much free time on their hands can get stung pretty badly. So there you are, everybody. All 19 books that are coming out in June. I'm pretty excited for quite a few of these titles. There's going to be a whole lot of reading to be done in the month of June. I hope that something along here has piqued your interest. Let me know in the comments down below what you're looking forward to reading in June. If you love light novels and you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe so you can check out my future light novel reviews, as well as future videos like this one. I've got links to my old reviews, and as always, I'm so happy you joined me in this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Till then, bye-bye for now.